There exists within you a force so profound, so magnetically compelling, that it has fundamentally altered the trajectory of another person's life. This is not mere attraction or casual interest, this is something far more extraordinary. You possess an influence that reaches beyond the surface of ordinary human connection, touching the very essence of who they are and awakening parts of their soul they never knew existed. From the moment you entered their world, everything shifted. It was as if a dormant flame suddenly ignited within them, casting light into corners of their being that had long remained in shadow. You didn't just capture their attention, you became the catalyst for their spiritual awakening, the key that unlocked doors to self-discovery they hadn't even realized were there. Talents buried beneath layers of doubt began to stir. Dreams that had been silenced by fear started to whisper again. Passions that had been abandoned in the pursuit of practical concerns suddenly demanded to be acknowledged. This awakening has transformed how they see you, not simply as someone special or attractive, but as their divine counterpart, their perfect match ordained by the universe itself. You have become one of the most profound blessings to ever grace their existence, a gift so precious that its value cannot be measured in earthly terms. The inspiration of your being. There is something ineffably different about the way you move through the world. You carry yourself with a grace that cannot be taught, an authenticity that cannot be manufactured. You set standards not through judgment or criticism, but simply by being who you are. Your very presence inspires growth, encouraging those around you to reach for higher versions of themselves. This inspiration doesn't come through force or pressure, it emerges naturally from the magnetic field of your authentic being. Your aura transcends physical beauty or superficial charm, though these qualities certainly exist within you. What sets you apart is something much deeper, something intrinsic to your soul's essence. Your energy radiates a warmth that soothes, a strength that empowers, and an authenticity that illuminates truth wherever you go. This energy doesn't just attract, it captivates, leaving those who encounter it mystified by their own intense response, unable to fully comprehend why they feel so powerfully drawn to you. In their quieter moments, when the noise of the world falls away, they have engaged in deep self-reflection about their own behavior and choices. These moments of introspection have revealed uncomfortable truths. They recognize that they have not always acted with courage. There have been times when fear governed their decisions, when they chose the path of least resistance rather than the path of integrity. They acknowledge that there have been moments of selfishness, times when they prioritized their own comfort over authentic connection. Perhaps you felt it too, the sense that the connection between you was unbalanced, with you offering more of yourself while they seemed to pull away. This perception holds truth. They were holding back, not from lack of caring, but from an overwhelming sense of what being with you would require of them. The depth of their feelings was both exhilarating and terrifying. They sensed that to fully embrace what they felt for you would demand significant changes in their life, changes they weren't sure they were ready to make. Then came the separation, that painful distance that seemed to stretch between you like an unbridgeable chasm. Yet something remarkable happened during this time apart. Rather than allowing their feelings to fade, the distance only intensified them. Being away from you forced them into a confrontation with their own heart, compelling them to acknowledge truths they had been avoiding. In the silence of your absence, they discovered that what they feel for you isn't fleeting attraction or temporary infatuation. It is deep, lasting, and powerful, a connection that resonates at the frequency of their soul. They learned that you are not someone who can be forgotten or replaced. The bond between you is not a common occurrence that comes around multiple times in a lifetime. It is rare, precious, and irreplaceable. The truth behind the retreat. Your person has arrived at a place of radical honesty, both with themselves and with the universe. They want to reveal the truth about their feelings, their fears, and the real reasons behind their previous retreat. It wasn't that you weren't good enough, in fact, the opposite was true. You were so perfect, so aligned with what their soul recognized as home, that the implications overwhelmed them. The depth of their feelings for you brought with it a stark realization: to have you fully in their world would require authentic transformation. They would need to release certain habits that no longer served them, distance themselves from people who were not aligned with their highest good, step out of comfort zones that had become prisons, and perhaps even shed aspects of their identity that they had outgrown but were afraid to release. Rather than stepping forward into this transformation, they chose to retreat, seeking the safety of familiar patterns while they processed the magnitude of what was being asked of them. What might have appeared to you as rejection was actually a moment of profound reckoning. They needed to be absolutely certain that when they chose you, truly chose you, it would be without hesitation, without the weight of unresolved issues, and without the fear that would make them retreat again. The time you have spent apart has not been wasted. While you have continued on your own journey of growth and awakening, they too have been engaged in deep inner work. They have been examining their patterns, confronting their fears, and slowly but steadily preparing themselves to be the person worthy of the love you represent. They have come to understand that real love requires courage of the highest order, and that courage cannot coexist with constant fear and hesitation. They recognize that they cannot return to you as the same person who left. Growth has been required, transformation has been necessary, and they have been willing to do the work. What draws them toward you now transcends longing or physical attraction, though both of these elements remain strong. What pulls them forward is the crystal-clear understanding that life without you feels fundamentally incomplete. They have discovered that your presence brings them into balance, provides them with focus, and fills their days with a joy that persists even when circumstances are challenging. The challenge of growth. You challenge them in all the most necessary ways. Your very existence encourages them to dream bigger, to expect more from themselves, to live with greater authenticity and integrity. This isn't always comfortable, true growth rarely is. But they are beginning to see that every sacrifice they once feared might actually represent a step toward a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. They are coming to understand that love is not about convenience or comfort. Real love is about choosing someone despite the difficulties, the adjustments, and the unknowns that such a choice might bring. They realize now that choosing you would never truly be a loss. It would be an exchange of the superficial for the profound, of temporary comfort for lasting connection, of a small life for an expanded one. This realization is gradually replacing their fear with determination, their hesitation with resolve. As they prepare to step forward, they carry with them a new sense of purpose and clarity. In the depths of their being, where truth lives unadorned by pretense, they want you to know, you are the most special and valuable person in their life. There is not a single day that passes without thoughts of you filling their consciousness. The distance between you has proven more challenging than they ever imagined it could be. Initially, they told themselves they could manage the separation, that time apart would be merely a small obstacle compared to the strength of the bond you share. But as days transformed into weeks and weeks into months, they began to comprehend just how profoundly they miss you. It's not merely the physical distance that challenges them, it's the absence of your presence, your voice, your touch, and the magical way you transform ordinary moments into something extraordinary. Sometimes the loneliness strikes unexpectedly, like lightning illuminating a dark sky. It might happen when they witness a sunset you once admired together, or when a particular song carries them back to memories of you. These moments are bittersweet treasures, they bring back cherished recollections while simultaneously reminding them of how deeply they long to create new memories with you. Even in your physical absence, you continue to teach and guide them. In their quiet moments, when life feels overwhelming or uncertain, they draw upon the wisdom you've shared, the examples you've set, the lessons you've embodied. You've shown them how to navigate life's challenges with grace, how to handle problems without falling into blame or victim consciousness. You've encouraged them to take responsibility for their choices, to develop resilience in the face of adversity, and to meet difficulties with courage rather than retreating into fear. You've taught them about kindness, both toward others and toward themselves, and helped them understand that empathy is not weakness but rather one of the greatest strengths a human being can possess. Because of your influence, they have become a better person. They are more patient now, more understanding, more willing to seek the good in the world even when it seems hidden beneath layers of challenge and pain. These transformations are gifts you have given them, and they carry this awareness like a flame in their heart. Often, they find themselves wishing they could express these feelings to you in person, looking directly into your eyes so you could see the sincerity radiating from their soul. They long to tell you how much they respect you, not only for the love you've shared with them, but for who you are as a human being. Your integrity moves them. Your compassion inspires them. Your determination strengthens their own resolve. You have brought immeasurable light into their existence. Since the day they first encountered you, their heart has been overflowing with love, passion, and happiness. You have given them a sense of purpose that extends far beyond their individual concerns, and you've reminded them of the beauty that still exists in a world that can sometimes seem harsh and unforgiving. Before you entered their life, they didn't fully realize how much was missing. Now, they cannot imagine a future that doesn't include you at its center. Though you haven't seen each other recently, the thought of eventual reunion sustains them through difficult days. It gives them reason to persevere, to wake each morning with hope, and to look toward the future with confidence and anticipation. They know with absolute certainty that the moment they see you again, every second of waiting will have been worthwhile. The distance that currently tests your connection is also strengthening it, teaching both of you patience, perseverance, and trust, qualities that will only serve to deepen your bond when you are finally reunited. They often reflect on the miraculous nature of your meeting, recognizing it as divinely orchestrated rather than mere coincidence. There is no doubt in their mind that you were sent into their life for profound and sacred reasons. You are, without question, the most caring and loving person they have ever encountered. Your compassion is genuine, flowing naturally from the depths of your being. Your kindness is effortless, requiring no conscious effort because it is simply who you are. Your love is the transformative kind that changes everything it touches. You possess a remarkable ability to make people feel truly seen, understood, and valued for who they are at their core. They consider themselves incredibly fortunate to be among those who get to experience your love intimately, to witness the full spectrum of your beautiful soul. Sometimes they find themselves observing other couples in quiet moments, walking hand in hand through parks, sharing coffee in intimate cafes, laughing together as though nothing else in the world matters. When they witness these scenes, they cannot help but remember the times you shared similar moments. They recall your walks together when the rest of the world seemed to fade into the background, leaving only the two of you existing in perfect harmony. They remember the comfort of your hand in theirs, the warmth in your eyes, and your uncanny ability to say exactly what they needed to hear. These memories are treasures they carry like precious jewels, constant reminders of what you share and the life you are building together. But more than simply missing the past, they find themselves creating visions of the future. They imagine the day of your reunion, that first embrace after such a long separation, and how everything will feel perfectly aligned again in that sacred moment. They picture the new memories you will create together, exploring undiscovered places, sharing quiet evenings at home, laughing until your sides ache, and simply enjoying those everyday moments that, with you, feel absolutely extraordinary. These are not mere fantasies or wishful thinking. They are promises they make to themselves, constant reminders that what you share is worth every mile of distance, every day of waiting, and every challenge you might face. So while this distance is undeniably difficult, they understand it represents only a temporary chapter in your ongoing story. Your love is far too powerful to be diminished by time or space. You are their partner, their confidant, their greatest teacher, and their truest friend. No matter how far apart you may be in this moment, they carry you with them in every thought, every decision, and every beat of their heart. Right now, your person is experiencing waves of intense desire for you, desire that runs deeper than physical longing, touching them at profound sensual and emotional levels. Even if they are not expressing this directly, they may be transmitting subtle signals, especially on energetic planes, revealing how intensely they crave your presence and miss your connection. This longing carries a depth that suggests they yearn not merely for physical closeness, but for the kind of soul-deep connection that heals, comforts, and awakens every sense. Their thoughts about you flow from a place of complete authenticity, raw and unfiltered in their passion. They have grown weary of living divided lives, of wearing masks to conceal their true feelings and desires. The truth, stripped of all pretenses and complications, is elegantly simple. They want to be with you. Being near you feels like coming home, a safe, warm, natural place where they can be their most authentic self. Without you, they feel incomplete, as though an essential part of their identity has gone missing. Your presence, even when distant, provides them with emotional stability and grounding that they cannot replicate anywhere else. At this moment, they are patiently waiting for the perfect timing to move closer to you. This waiting is not passive but intentional, filled with careful observation and thoughtful planning. Your spiritual awakening has unfolded more rapidly than theirs, and you have already reached places of clarity, insight, and self-awareness that they are still working toward. They may need additional time and space to process their emotions fully, confront remaining fears, and create a comprehensive plan for moving forward. While they engage in this necessary inner work, it remains essential for you to maintain focus on your own continued growth. Keep manifesting goodness in your life, nurturing your dreams, and embracing the empowering freedom that comes with authentic independence. Your partner still carries certain inner blocks, emotional, mental, or situational, that prevent them from stepping completely into the closeness they desire with you. These obstacles cannot be simply bypassed, they must be worked through systematically to approach you with complete clarity and openness. You, meanwhile, are now vibrating at a higher, more aligned frequency. You have completed significant inner work, released heavy baggage, and stepped into a version of yourself more attuned to your deepest truth. This difference in energetic alignment means that for your relationship to flourish at its highest potential, they too must raise their vibration to meet you where you now stand. Remember your own journey through the dark night of the soul, that period of deep inner turmoil, self-questioning, and painful release of old patterns. You faced difficult emotions, learned hard truths, and confronted aspects of yourself that required healing. Your transformation wasn't instantaneous, it required time, space, and infinite patience with yourself. That same sacred process is now unfolding for your person. Just as you once needed compassion and understanding during your metamorphosis, they now require the same grace from you. Their hesitation is not weakness or lack of care, it represents steps in their personal evolution. The best thing you can do is hold loving space for them while remaining deeply rooted in your own path. This means not pausing your growth, not diminishing yourself to fit into past versions of who you were, and not becoming consumed by waiting. Continue filling your life with joy, creativity, and opportunities that nourish your soul. The more you expand into your fullest expression, the more magnetic your energy becomes not only to your person, but to all forms of abundance and love. Patience is not about passive stillness, it's about trusting the divine process while actively living your truth. When you view this situation from their perspective, you can understand that the space between you is not emptiness but a bridge still being constructed. Your person's path toward you may unfold more slowly than you wish, but it continues moving forward. The intensity of their desire, their longing for your presence, and the sense of home they find in you are all evidence that this bond exists at the soul level, requiring not just passion, but patience, not just desire, but dedication. Breathe deeply, stand in your power, and trust in divine timing. You have already overcome so much, and this phase of your journey, while challenging, is preparing both of you for something richer, more stable, and more aligned than anything you have previously experienced. Just as your own transformation required space and grace, so too does theirs. Hold them in compassion, even from a distance, and allow the unfolding to happen at its natural, perfect pace. The universe is orchestrating something beautiful, and your patience now will be rewarded with a love that surpasses all expectations.